fight him hand to hand.
Analyze his fight pattern.
Scanning.
It's been reported that Chris Evans will be back in the MCU for Avengers Doomsday, but we still don't know exactly who he'll be playing. The obvious guess is Captain America, but with the multiverse in play, that's not a sure thing. After all, Evans recently returned in Deadpool and Wolverine as the Human Torch. Haley Atwell's also set to appear, which has fans thinking we might see versions of the characters from that happy ending timeline from the end of Avengers Endgame, helping protect the multiverse. But here's where it gets interesting. There's been talk that Evans could be playing a version of Captain America allied with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. The latest rumor? That we might be getting Hydra Cap in the next Avengers movie. It's still just a rumor, but it makes sense. For one, bringing Evans back as the hero Captain America might overshadow Sam Wilson, who took up the mantle in Captain America: Brave New World. And with the multiverse, anything's possible. What could be even more exciting than a villainous Hydra Supreme Cap joining forces with Doom is seeing the Avengers team up with a twisted version of their fallen friend from Earth 616. So who exactly is Captain Hydra? He's Steve Rogers from Earth 6131. In this timeline, young Steve first encountered Hydra when he was 6 years old in 1926, after his mom Sarah got involved with Hydra through a high-ranking member named Elisa Sinclair. When Elisa had Sarah's abusive husband killed, Sarah tried to flee with Steve but was confronted and killed during the struggle. Steve was then taken to a Hydra training facility called The Keep. Despite his strong will, Hydra struggled to brainwash him, so he spent time in solitary confinement and was forced to watch re-education films. Although Steve was smart, he wasn't in great shape and got rejected by both his teachers and peers. In 1934, during an escape attempt, Steve was convinced by Daniel Whitehall, aka the Kraken, to embrace Hydra's philosophy, focusing on collectivism and the leadership of the strong. Over the next year, Steve gained the respect of Dr. Fenhoff, one of his instructors, and became close friends with Helmut Zemo, who would be his only real friend. In 1936, as World War II was nearing, Hydra allied with Hitler's Nazi Party, aiming to use them for their own gain. In 1940, Steve returned to the U.S. on a mission to infiltrate the army and kill Abraham Erskine, the scientist behind the Allies' Project Rebirth. After several failed attempts to enlist, Steve worked at a diner Erskine visited with plans to poison him. But when Steve tried to stop a robber, getting beat up in the process, Erskine saw his courage and chose him for the super soldier serum. Later, Steve attempted to shoot Erskine but was stopped by him. However, Steve's handler, Helmut Zemo, finished the job and, with a device, extracted Erskine's knowledge. Hydra continued its work on the project, and Steve became Captain America in 1942, but he remained loyal to Hydra, passing along critical intelligence. In 1944, Hydra's leadership was shaken by the death of Baron Zemo, and Steve was tasked with killing Elisa, whom Hydra believed betrayed them. She revealed that the Red Skull took control of Hydra, and Steve went after him, eventually learning of the Allies' new superweapon, the Cosmic Cube. Elisa also brought Steve back to the Keep, where he reunited with his mother. She warned him that the Allies planned to use the cube to alter reality. With her foresight, Steve survived the reality change and woke up decades later in a world where Hydra lost World War II and he never served them. Steve then joined the Avengers, but it was later revealed that Kobik manipulated events to make it seem like the Hydra timeline was the original. During a battle with the Iron Nail, Captain America's super soldier serum was neutralized, causing him to age rapidly. Later, a clone of the Red Skull had Hydra double agent Eric Selvig propose to S.H.I.E.L.D. the idea of using Kobik's reality warping powers to create a prison for supervillains, turning them into ordinary citizens. This led to a supervillain revolt when Steve visited Pleasant Hill, and during the chaos, he was nearly killed by Crossbones. Kobik, feeling pity for Steve, restored him to his prime, but instead of just rejuvenating him, she replaced him with a version from her timeline. Despite working for the Red Skull, Steve secretly despised him, believing his vision of Hydra was based on blind hatred and self-glorification. Steve kept Baron Zemo and Eric Selvig alive, convincing Zemo to believe in his version of history. Steve's operations were interrupted by the arrival of the Inhuman Ulysses Kane, who could predict the future. Steve manipulated events to escalate tensions between Iron Man and Captain Marvel, even planting the seeds that led to Bruce Banner's death. As the tension grew, Captain America found himself at the center of another of Ulysses' visions, where he was killed by Spider-Man. Rogers also worked for the Red Skull's plans to bring chaos to Earth with alien Chitauri queens, pushing Sharon Carter to propose the SHIELD Act to expand SHIELD's power. Steve manipulated events to ensure SHIELD director Maria Hill was fired, then supported Carter, who turned down the director role, leading Steve to take charge. Under his leadership, the SHIELD Act was passed, giving SHIELD immense authority, including the ability to control the country in a national emergency. Once Baron Zemo aligned himself with Captain America, he began rallying the supervillains from Pleasant Hill to form an army of evil. Meanwhile, Elisa Sinclair emerged as the new Madam Hydra, gathering powerful allies to serve as Captain America's High Council of Hydra. After the Red Skull's defeat, he lost the telepathic abilities granted by Charles Xavier's brain, which Captain America used to orchestrate the Red Skull's escape just to kill him. With the Red Skull dead, Steve consolidated his power as Hydra Supreme, teaming up with Sinclair. Baron Zemo took control of the Thunderbolts and secured the Cosmic Cube. However, after Kobik's humanoid form was destroyed, the cube's shards were scattered across the globe by Selvig, who later killed himself. Steve, determined to reshape the world to fit his vision, continued his plan with Madam Hydra's encouragement. Meanwhile, a series of crises were orchestrated: a Chitauri wave, the brainwashed crew of the SHIELD helicarrier Crescent, and the Army of Evil's attack on Manhattan. These events were meant to neutralize key defenses in America, allowing Captain America to use the SHIELD Act to consolidate control of the country. As Hydra took control, the American public started adjusting to the new fascist regime. The underground, led by Hawkeye, resisted Hydra's rule. Tensions rose when the High Council pressured Steve into attacking Las Vegas, with Madam Hydra stepping in to lead, causing a rift between the two. Steve shifted his focus to collecting the Cosmic Cube shards, which led to a clash with the Underground. The Red Room, led by Black Widow and Spider-Man, also fought back against Captain America. During an attack on the Capitol, Black Widow was tragically killed when Rogers' shield struck her while she tried to stop Spider-Man from killing him. Consumed by grief, Steve ramped up his mission to assemble the cube and reshape the world. Hydra waged wars against Wakanda and New Tian, capturing key figures like T'Challa and Emma Frost for the cube's shards. Now, we'll have to wait to see how Captain Hydra's story goes in the MCU, either in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars. Well, that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.